It's time for our episode 10 episode follow-up. I had to figure out how to best say this, but this is
Yeah.
perfect. The episode 10 episode follow-up, because it's our 10th episode. We've had 10. Thank you so much, everyone who's been a part of it and watched it.
Indeed,
And
yes,
we said
thank
a
you
whole
so
bunch
much.
of stuff, like in episode 1 and 2 and 3, and then things changed. Everything has changed for bunches of reasons. And so we thought it would make sense that as we do this show, about every 10 episodes, let's just ask some of those questions, get some of those answers, and update things as needed. Also, in this particular case, a little bit later on, we're going to talk about our top 5, and that's because we want to replay these on our actual vinyl, because some of the early episodes, we were still learning how to podcast.
Indeed.
As much as you think you do your best, but I noticed it takes about 7 or 8 episodes before you kind of figure it all out. But
You get in the groove, you would say?
yes.
See what I did there? You're welcome, everybody. You're welcome.
Probably one of the main reasons we're having this, though, is because of something that developed as I was working through my collection here in these first 10 episodes, because I went from just being a record listener to being someone making content about their collection. And it's amazing how doing this kind of thing changes that, because you realize a whole bunch of things, one of which is all those Discogs catalogs, records that I'd had for years and years and years, like since 2017 in Discogs, poof, gone. And I didn't realize it until we were putting together our top 5s. And then I was like, wait a second, I've got Europe, the Final Countdown, for example. And it led me down this rabbit hole to realize about 15 to 20% of my collection was just not cataloged.
I had the same problem.
Yeah.
Because I remember you had told me about that, and I'm like, no, all my stuff is there. Well, it turns out probably about maybe 10, 12% of it was not there.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I found that out actually is I was at a record show and I saw a LA Guns, and I'm like, okay, I think I have this. Well, I looked in my Discogs and I didn't have it. And I'm like, no, I know I have this. So thankfully I didn't buy it at the show. I got home and I looked, and sure enough, I had it.
Yeah.
Well, then I started looking at some other stuff, and I'm like, this is not on there. This is not there was a couple 9 Inch Nails that I'm like, I know I have these. They weren't on there. So yeah. So that begs the question, how does that happen? Like, I know I entered those on Discog. So how do they just go poof off of your Discogs? And it's just like a problem that happens to everybody,
I guess. And I think it's because of the public nature of Discogs. Everyone's uploading things, and over time people upload bad versions of albums, and then the editors have to clean it up and all that sort of thing. Maybe in the meantime you connected to that version of the album, whatever.
Yeah.
I can't explain it either, other than to say it was a good 70, 80 records in my collection.
I was surprised at how many, yeah.
So how many records do you have at this moment?
At this very moment, I am up to 2,041.
A little over 300. So. And you have not purchased 300 records?
No. No, and that's what I wanted to clarify, because in our first episode I had 1,707. I did not buy 300 records. I mean, I will admit I've bought a lot since episode 1, but nowhere near 300. So it's not as bad as it seems. But yeah, no, most, like I said, a good probably 10% of those were just ones that had dropped off my Discogs that I had no idea that I had. But
same.
I mean, let's just be honest, I bought a lot of records too, but
yeah, I mean,
but I have to for the show, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and
I have to for the show.
I also had some influxes because I bought lots of records. I'd buy 12 records at a time from dollar bins, as we saw over the summer and things. I am currently at 528. And that's about 70 records or so that I purchased this year, which is a lot. That's a lot for me. But 528. And I currently have 450 CDs, asterisk, because I haven't actually done the work on my CD collection. And so now I wonder, is that the same thing happening with my CDs too? It kind of looks like maybe I have more than 450 CDs, but maybe I'm wrong.
And I have like maybe 600, but I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I need to actually double check that because I'm sure there's a bunch that I don't have cataloged too. But see, and that also begs the question: do you catalog your CDs on Discogs?
Yes.
I don't, because I don't want to mix the two formats.
I have them sent by folder. So I have one vinyl folder.
Okay.
This is the way to do it. Have one vinyl folder, one CD folder, and then when I get CDs, they just go into the CD folder for Discogs, so I can just sort it by that. I can do all sorts of things. It's really good that way. Takes a little bit of work, but it's worth doing. And you'll have some of the same surprising experiences that you'll have when you're cataloging your vinyl records. Oh, wait, this is worth that much? Or
well, maybe I'll do that then, because I've been using like another app to do them in my cassettes, but maybe I'll actually put them on Discogs. I guess I didn't realize you could do the folders thing.
Especially that CDs, you can barcode a lot of them, and that works pretty well. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We're going through our topics really that we've done for these 10 episodes before we really basically never talk about them again, or maybe update them in another 10 episodes. One of the things we did is we talked about opening sealed records and the records we would not open. And one of mine is the Best of Ralph, which is Ralph Records from the Residents fame. And not only does this have Residents on it, but it's got of Tuxedo Moon and other bands that were part of the Residents collection. And I happened to find a sealed version of it, just kind of off the rack in a Newberry Comics some number of years ago, and it's been sealed ever since. Well, I decided for this episode, we are going to open this record and I'm going to play a clip from it. And the reason for that is I realized it's got tracks that I need to have on vinyl that I don't have. Like Hello Skinny by the Residents, Constantinople. It's got The Spot by Snakefinger on it. But especially here, it's got a bit where the Residents did a mashup of Beatles samples. They weren't called samples back in the day, but they basically did a tape mashup of Beatles stuff in an EP that came out around the time of Third Reich and Roll called The Residents Play the Beatles and the Beatles Play the Residents. And they have Beyond the Valley of a Day in the Life on this record.
Everybody, if we haven't done what we could have done, we've tried. Please, everybody, if we haven't done what we could have done, we've tried. Please, everybody, if we haven't done what we could have done, we've tried. Please, everybody, if we haven't done what we could have done, we've tried. So,
oh wow,
I haven't clipped it because it's still sealed, but we're gonna open this thing right now on camera, say goodbye to the shrink wrap, and see what happens to it. This record's about 1982. So
let's take
let's see what happens.
How tight is that shrink wrap on there?
It's tight. It is tight. I will say that.
So is it going to be warped?
But there's
that's why I
not there is not though ringwear. Very ringwear though.
Yeah, well, you might be okay.
Official buy or die inner sleeve. Oh my God, look how shiny and new that looks.
No, that is so I mean, that has not seen the light of day since it was pressed.
That is looking very, very nice. All right, we got our record here. Looking fantastic as well.
No,
very excited to be playing. Oh, this also has The Man in the Dark Sedan by Snakefinger on it. Some really good records on tracks on here as well. This one, as will sometimes happen, look at that. It's got an original fold. So sometimes you'll look through the racks and it'll be, quote, damaged. Yep. This is no longer near mint, is it? Because it's got this fold in it. Except I'd still call this near mint, almost certainly.
I mean,
this also has MX80 sound in it, and a bunch of people. Tuxedo Moon, Fred Firth, Yellow, and looks not warped.
Yep, nope. Seeing a warp. You got lucky. Yeah, no, I'm not seeing a warp either.
Very nice indeed. I am looking forward to actually giving this one a listen. And even if I killed its eventual collector's value, I'm going to enjoy this music.
And that's the reason to buy the record anyway, is to enjoy it. Like, who cares about the rest of the stuff? Like, you buy music to listen to music and enjoy it.
What else has 10 episodes done to you? How has your collection changed over kind of the past year or so here? Yeah, me too.
A lot. It takes me a lot more time to go through all my stuff, catalog my stuff, sleeve it, all of that. I've reorganized it. I don't know how many times. I've added a new shelf unit. I'm starting to put stuff in crates. I'm running out of room. There's a lot happening in my record collection right now.
Mine too, although I'm mostly done with the process. I gave everything new outers, sealed outers. I gave everything rice paper. They call it rice paper inners. Yep. I put the records on the outside of the jacket. So like you said, you're not always taking in and out or opening the spine of your jacket every time. It does have the potential to cause extra ring wear, and it causes extra space in your shelf. So I needed more space to store my records. I needed to be maybe a little more careful about how closely packed my records were. So,
that's the key there. Yeah,
I've been started to get real conscientious about that. Everything's looking good though, sounding good. Everything's cataloged and cleaned. Although I noticed one already dropped off my list. It's going to be on later here.
Now you're making me all nervous that a bunch of mine dropped off again.
Like a month or two ago, and I'm just like, what? Yeah, I know crazy. I cataloged this.
Right.
I know I cataloged this because I just did it. I literally just did it. So.
Oh yeah, no, but yeah, it's. I guess it's just, and it's not just records. It's any physical media that you collect. I think everybody goes through this. It's just like physical media takes up space.
Yeah.
And it's the never ending. Where do I find space for my stuff?
Yeah. The next step for me is actually to pay attention to my CDs, because I had to do a bunch of work today. Just in the past week, I had to move all my CDs off their shelves. And I'm like, well, as long as I've got them all off the shelf, let's catalog them. Let's make sure they've got outer plastic, which most of them do already at this point. And then let's sort them. Let's do the same vinyl sorting. Let's sort them by genre and then by alphabet. So
maybe I'll do that next. And especially since you said about the folder thing, maybe I'll put them all on Discogs too, and we'll see.
One of the things that I thought was particularly interesting, let me see, where did I find it? Here we go, is just recently, and this is an update to my collection, I have found my very first test pressing. I found this at a thrift store for $6, and it's a band from the UK called The Beautiful South. And this is my first test pressing. If you don't know what a test pressing is, this is what they would basically make before they did the final run. Any of the other people involved in the production of the album would get a copy of this generally, or at least listen from this. And some copies would be distributed to friends and fans and others as well.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I don't have any test pressings. That's something I've always looked for on stuff, but they're kind of hard to find.
You see them occasionally, and they can be worth a lot of money. This one was only $6. I only paid $6 for this, and that's because I think the band is lesser known. But it's a cool track. I'm going to play a clip from it here.
Night when all I wanted to do
And then the other bit that's new from my promos is I also picked up, this was just a $2 record that I picked up to make a minimum Discogs order. But this is my first white label promo
Nice.
that I have
Yep.
for my collection as well in this past year. And this is a $2 record of Old Dirty Bastard, a promo of Recognize, which, not the greatest song in the world, but his verse in the middle of it is not too bad.
I take your microphone, you party bitches falling online with your fat ass thinking behind. You don't know who the fuck is here? I backsmack your ass, make pressure appear. Cause black love ain't knocking at your door. I dedicate that to your source. Cause this nigga dirty and it's stinking. Funky up, Pebble Pew, so I was thinking.
I would also point out that Chris Rock, the movie comedian guy, kind of embarrasses himself in this album. He doesn't do a very good
Really?
job on it. It's pretty terrible, honestly. But old ODB's verse in it, for the minute or so it goes on, is pretty good. And then I think they were kind of like, well, let's pad out the track by another 3 minutes or so and release it. It was only a $2 promo record, though. And like I say, it's not terrible either. But also, white label promos, they're not particularly more valuable, but they can be. And usually they're called white label because they go out a little bit earlier in some cases than some of the other promos that get released that have a little more packaging involved in them. So they tend to be in these general sleeves like this.
And like early, like if you find stuff from like the 50s and 60s that are on white labels, those are going to tend to be the best sounding pressings because those were like the first ones that were done. So they were, you know, direct from that first stamp.
That test
So
pressing of
they're-
The Beautiful South sounds amazing. Like the sonic space in it is just like, wow. And I think that that's an example of what you just described, of it being pretty close
Yeah.
to the source.
Yep.
So
That's a reason to kind of search those out if you can find them.
I don't need to include a repress here. I could just skip past that, but we're happy to
Yeah,
include it
nope.
if you'd like to.
Yeah. No, I have one that was on my list that I actually did get repressed, and then now I have one that I'm going to add.
That's true. Both of us had records that hit our every album's in need of a repress that got a repress this year. We just talked about Danzig, and you've got one too?
I do, yep. My number one, actually, what it was, the Sunday's Blind. Then again, I think somebody listened to the show and heard me beg for this, and they repressed it. So my number one is now off my list, and it's on this gold-colored vinyl. But yes, Sunday's Blind, check off the list. So now I'm going to change my number one to a 9 Inch Nails. It's called Year Zero. This is the CD of it. If you're not familiar with this is a concept album from Trent. It's very utopian. Corporations are taking over America. It's one of my favorite 9 Inch Nails albums. Totally.
Awesome.
This one desperately needs a repress. It's like 300 plus if you can find the vinyl. It was only ever printed on vinyl one time. I'm not going to show the other side because it might get us in trouble. I'll show it, but I will kind of so you can't quite see what he's holding there. But yeah, so this one needs a repress really bad. This has one of my most favorite 9 Inch Nails songs on it. It's called Copy of an A.
I am just a copy of a copy of a copy. Everything I say has come before.
something into something. I don't know for certain anymore.
Please repress this, Trent. I don't know why you're not.
My number one was Danzig too, but since that has very successfully been repressed, thank you so much, Final Gods. Or maybe the anti-Final Gods, if we're talking Danzig.
Yeah, maybe.
Whoever was involved, it's all good here. Anyway, I'm going to put on my list as a replacement. This isn't my number one, but this is the one I could most immediately think of, and that is Babes in Toyland Fontanelle. We're getting ready to do our grunge top 5, and I have to admit, part of the reason I haven't done it is because I kind of wanted to keep an eye out for that album, except it hasn't been repressed except one time on a Music on Vinyl, and that is already through the roof in price.
Oh, yeah.
So, and it's such a important grunge album that it should totally be readily available, except it's not. So, Babes in Toyland Fontanelle is the one I'm going to replace on my list.